G'day, this is Donna and welcome to Craft With Us Oz. Today we are going to make this extremely cute 3D Christmas card tree decoration. This is a kit that I have available and I'll have a link below. Here's another quick look at it, the completed project. You can see this one, I've added a tiny little bit of bling to it. It's a bit of a different bow. They're a lovely decoration. So the parts that we are going to need, we'll need our Christmas tree. We'll need some bling to put on the sides, a ribbon for the bow at the top, the little base, we'll need some double-sided tape, a ruler, a bone folder if you have one, and a little piece of string. The first thing that we're going to do is fold up all of the areas that we need to make it 3D. So you can see that what I'm doing here is I'm lining up the ruler from the top point to the pieces, to the areas around the tree that need to be folded up. So I find the easiest way to do this is with a metal ruler, and I just slip my fingernail underneath and flip it up. If you have a scoring board, you can also mark it on the scoring board if you wish. So once we've done that part, now we're going to fold around the bottom. So in the kit that this comes in, there's step-by-step instructions and diagrams to make sure that you do the folds in exactly the right place. But you'll also find that on this tree, it's fairly easy to see where the points are, the beginning points and the end points for all of the folds. So we'll just keep going around, and here's our lucky last one. The next thing that I like to do from this point is just reinforce all of the folds. So I do this with my Teflon bone folder. Any bone folder, of course, will work. If you're new to crafting and you don't yet have a bone folder, just use something to run along those edges to make sure that they're really nice and crisp. This will make it so much easier later in the folding and in the putting together of the actual tree. So now we're going to go and do our folds for second last little portion of the tree. So these ones have actually got to fold out the other way, but I'm just folding them up this way because it's easier to see, and then I'm folding them back. Once again, using my bone folder to reinforce each one of the folds. So this music paper that I'm actually using here is printed out music paper. So I do have an old music book that I quite often use the paper for, but when you're folding it a lot, it tends to split. So that's why I use this paper. If you've got some scrapbooking paper that's got music on it, that will also work beautifully. So now I'm just folding up the little tabs, once again reinforcing them to make sure that that's all nice and lined up, nice and crisp. Now the tabs are only on 2 of those bottom pieces, and you'll see how this goes together in a moment. All right. Here we go. We're going to turn it over and we're going to just put our double-sided tape. I won't make you watch all the way through that. I just wanted to make sure that with the folding you knew exactly where everything goes. So the double-sided tape just goes on the one tab, the one long tab at the end of the tree. So that's a 1/2 inch fold. So you should be able to use just one strip of 1/2 inch, or I've got 1/4 inch score tape. So I did 2 strips there. And then just on those 2 little flaps that we folded over. Yep. On each one of those, there's 4 of those. So you can see that I've just skipped a little bit ahead there and showing you all of those. Once again, what we're doing here is actually burnishing. It's called burnishing the tape and pushing it into the paper. This makes it so much easier to remove the release paper once you're ready to go. So I'm just going to trim that little bit of sticky tape off the top there. So before we actually fold up the tree and put it together, this is the best time to put on in a little bling if you want to. Now, I don't put on a lot of bling, and in the kit you'll find that there's a little bit of bling. You can add a lot more if you wish. So I am just going to put 2 colors on this one today, just the clear and the red. But of course, you can, this is up to you, your creation, so you can put as much as you like on it. Now that I've completed that, we're going to get the string ready. It's just a matter of doing, folding it over and doing a knot. Now we're going to release the backing paper off that double-sided tape. Now I'm just putting that string down on the knot further down to make it easier to fold. And once you've folded that little flap over, you can literally fold this in half, and that should line up perfectly. So with that's all lined up, we're going to press that down. Now that just got a little cord at the top, so just use my bone folder to straighten it up and gently pull the string until you can come no further. So that makes that all nice and neat. We've got the string coming perfectly out of the top. Now this bottom piece we're going to just take a little bit of time with. I kind of think that this is a little bit like folding a box, where you put one side over and the other side under. So the flap goes under. So that's the little flap. It's going to go under at the top part. And on that, on the other side there where I just pointed to, that little corner goes underneath the one that the flap is. That's a little bit tricky to explain. The reason that I've designed it this way is to make it all really nice and neat. So when I talk about design for this Christmas tree, I just want to tell you that about 4 or 5 years ago, I saw on the internet a lady made this tree, and her husband was an engineer and did a bit of a design. I have redesigned it a little bit, but it is basically there, that's where I got the inspiration from, but I could not find them, so I can't tell you who it is. But there we go. So you can see how we're just slipping that sticky side under one and the little corner under the opposite one. Now it's time to make the little box. So the box is just a simple box. We're just going to fold up, once again, the fold lines. You can see that from that point it goes all the way through to the bottom. You can line that up against your mat, which I've done here, if you find that a little bit easier. And that's a straight line all the way down there, and once again just fold it up, using exactly the same technique as I did before. But once again, if you've got a scoreboard, you can mark the score lines with using your scoreboard. We're just going to do the other fold lines. Nice and easy. Once again, we're going to reinforce them with our bone folder. Not going to make you sit through all of that again. We're just going to pop some double-sided tape on the little tabs. You can actually add glue if you want to. I like to use double-sided tape and sometimes a little bit of glue. We're going to burnish that double-sided tape down into the card. Make it nice and easy to remove the release paper. So anyone that's been crafting has probably made a simple box before. We're just going to remove the release paper from the back of the double-sided tape. I'm going to tidy that little bit of tape up a bit. I'm going to take this off all 4 sides because this goes together quite quickly and easily. Once I've removed all the tape, it goes together quite quickly and easily. Okay, so now all we're going to do is put the sticky flap at the back of the, and fold it up into a corner. Because we've made those corners nice and crisp, this should be easy and it will make a lovely box. I'm just going to burnish those to make sure that they stick together really, really well, using my bone folder for that to get in where those parts are stuck down. Now, to put this on the bottom of the tree, when we did the tree, it's kind of sat up a little bit. The bottom of the tree is bigger than the box. That's to help it stay on. So you can see that I've popped it on there and then pushed it in, and it makes that beautiful bottom of the tree, a beautiful design on the bottom of the tree. So now it's time to make a bow. I'm using my bow maker for this, simply because I like to have perfect bows and this is the best way for me to do it. So I'm just going to wrap my ribbon around, feed it underneath, over the top, and tie a single knot. Pull it really, really tight and pop it off. So now I'm just going to fluff it a little bit. Once again, I really like to have a perfect bow, so the bow maker is very good for that. Straighten it up a little bit. I also like to cut a fishtail end on my bows. Sometimes I like to have long ends, sometimes I like to have short ends. So we'll just clip those off. So to attach this to the top of the tree, I just use a little bit of double-sided tape. If you've got glue dots are perfect. I just didn't have any at this particular time. So I put a little bit of double-sided tape on the back, press that down nice and firm. Once again, it's like burnishing it on. And we're going to release the backing paper. I also put a bit of wet glue at this point to make sure that it's really secure at the top, because it doesn't have a big area to stick to, so you want to make sure that it's nice and secure. Choose whichever side you want to be the front of your tree and pop the bow on. Now, if you really wanted to, you could make a second bow, particularly if using a bow maker, it'll come out the same size, and put it back to back. I just chose to put the single bow on this one. And there is our tree complete. Beautiful. A couple of close-up photos so you can have a look. I'd really like to thank you for joining us today. And once again, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day.